Hey everybody, Mason here from Captain's Log to talk to you about Brüush. Brüush is an electronic toothbrush that will change the way you think about brushing your teeth. With powerful sonic technology and ultra-gentle bristles, the Brüush redefines what it means to have super clean teeth. It's that feeling you get when you leave the dentist every single day. A fresh, whole mouth clean. Our listeners can get 15% off their total purchase when they use code POD15 at checkout. Follow the link in the show notes and enter the code POD15, that's POD15, to get your exclusive discount and upgrade your oral care routine.
Captain's Log, the podcast devoted to discussions and insights into the supernatural, occult, and all-around strange happenings of our world.
I think
Our goal?
there's someone in the house with us.
To entertain and disturb, perhaps like no one has before.
I warn you, this could scare you, as the sound bothers me to listen to. It has always haunted me. What you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed. Did you hear that?
Star date 04/27/2021. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Captain's Log. This is your captain speaking, Jose Valle Jr., joined virtually by my trusted co-host and first officer, Mason Schrader. Mason, how are you on this fine, beautiful day? Actually, it's very cloudy here in Utah. I don't know how it is in Iowa.
It was sunny all day, and I had to be outside, and I think I'm already sunburnt.
Oh, wow. You look pretty rosy. But then again, you normally look rosy.
Well, I'm very fair-skinned. I hate it. I hate getting sunburned. It's my least favorite thing, and I always get sunburned every summer when it's unavoidable. I hate it.
Besides that, though, everything's peachy.
Already tired of hot weather.
Well, we are back with another episode. In case you don't follow our social media, which you should, it's Captain's Log Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We moved our schedule back because I actually went and I visited my cute little co-host, Mason,
Yay.
in the state of Iowa.
It was me.
It was Mason. It was
I
Mason
did
all
it.
along. He did. He got me there. I had some time off work, and I was like, hey, babe, I'm coming. And
He texted me, you up. And when I said yes, he was in my room with me.
I was already there.
He was already there.
I talked to Cheyenne beforehand, and she scooted out of bed, and then I just crawled in with Mason. But yeah, we got to work on a fun little collaboration, with our friend Nick,
Yes.
who is great, and which will be coming out sometime in the future. It was very fun.
I will be releasing with Nick, and then a certain special episode with Jose, our Corn-Fed Iowa podcast, which is a podcast all about reviewing different food. And in season 1, we're going to try to find the best burger place in Iowa. And I'll give you more updates as we film that, but we're doing that as a season, so it'll all kind of come out as one group instead of weekly.
Yeah, but it'll be fun. It was a blast to come on there and record with them.
Yeah.
And to hang out. And to
some
lose my
burgers.
mind over Godzilla versus Kong.
I just drank myself through the talking parts and watched the fighting parts.
Well, we are continuing with part 6 of our Sinister stories of the southeast portion of our Unsolved US series. Today, we will be taking a look at the 2 states of Alabama and Mississippi. The state that gave me the most pain in the ass to write this episode because I was constantly like, is it MISS and then another set of S's and
You don't know?
PP,
You didn't learn that in school?
I did, but every time we sang it, I was like,
MISSIPPI.
I was just like this. Every time we sang it, I was like, what the fuck are they saying? Because I had just learned English too. And like now they were hammering me with Mississippi, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
How did you feel about the Kansas Arkansas?
I thought it was
Did that trip
Arkansas
you
for
up?
the longest. Yeah, it fucked me up.
Yeah.
Until I got to like junior high,
yeah.
and somebody was like, it's Arkansas. And I was like, whoa.
You know, it's funny how everyone pronounces it Kansas and Arkansas and never Arkansas and Kinsaw.
Kansas. Mm-hmm. Kansas. So, real quick, I just wanted to let everyone know, if you haven't shopped our merch, make sure you guys go do that. Teepublic is having a sale every week of April, so this is the last week to take advantage of that and help support the show. They really want you guys to know that, and we will be conducting a poll on there at some point about what kind of merchandise you guys would like to see. But Mason,
And we may have some new merch coming too. Uh-oh.
maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about it. I'm just a little secret.
Did Mason just spill a little tea?
That's cute. I like that.
Maybe some hand drawn. It's gonna be some hand drawn things, huh?
We need to do like the baby Brent, from like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, like the little sardine can.
Yeah.
But with your face on it.
Oh,
on the
I
baby's
love
body.
how you call that the baby Brent and not that very famous suntan lotion that
I
did
don't
that.
remember because I don't know. I only know it as that. I'm a little stupid baby
you
boy.
should have grown up in the white America in the 50s.
Yeah, that's my bad.
That was your fault.
Well, Mason, will you start the mystery hog, and let's ride. Put my helmet on, my goggles, my scarf, and we bought a sidecar, so now I'm in the little sidecar while Mason drives. So long! And we're driving away. Having visited America's butthole, Florida, we now head northwest to the Yellowhammer state of Sweet Home, Alabama.
What's the over-under until we start making incest jokes about these states?
This one. This is the one.
This is the one. Okay.
This is the one, yeah.
Great, cool.
We have covered plenty of Crybaby Bridge stories, and although this one strays from the formula, it should be added to the pantheon. This bridge was originally built in 1930 and was declared to be in poor condition by 1992.
Spooky. That was honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a spooky one. A bridge that only lasted for 60 years? Spooky.
Right?
What's next? The scariest thing is Alabama's infrastructure.
Yeah. Some believe that there is a reason why this bridge decayed so harshly. In fact, there are two very popular legends that could explain it. The first legend takes place sometime in the 1950s, when allegedly a young couple perished while crossing the bridge. It is unknown what caused them to go off the side of the bridge and plummet into the Chocoloco Creek below, but what is known,
God,
that is
stop.
such a fun name, right? No,
Stop
that's
it.
the actual creek's
The
name.
name of the river is a
Is
chocolate milk name? Shut the fuck up. That is
The Choco Taco, and I know
It's
I'm
the-
sure it's like a Native American name. I don't want to shit on it too much, but it's very fun.
It sounds like the Mexican version of Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, Choco
You know
Loco.
what I mean?
We do have,
Yeah.
yeah. We call chocolate milk Chocomil, which is like kind of
Yeah.
close. Yeah, Choco Loco. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, sponsored by Choco Loco, and then it does like a whole. It's got like a mascot. I don't
Yeah. It's like but in poor taste.
know. Well, I don't know if you've ever had chocolate milk. Doesn't taste that poor.
It's rich milk. Anyway, Captain's Log is brought to you by Choco Loco Milk.
Choco Loco.
But yeah, so what is known is what happened afterwards. It seems the young couple refused to move on, and now haunt said bridge. If you found yourself driving on the bridge late at night, parked your car, and turned off your headlights, you would find yourself being joined by an unwanted passenger in your back seat. You might not even hear them enter or notice them, but afterwards you would find a very noticeable wet spot, as if someone had just climbed out of the river and into your car.
All right, few things. First off,
Yeah.
obviously you're not going to hear them enter. They're ghosts. They don't use doors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's come
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Also, that's not a wet spot from the river.
You pissed in the backseat.
Yes.
Of course, yeah, ghosts don't use doors. I mean, they can manipulate doors. We know that they can open and slam and close and open and slam and close doors. But but it's funny that a ghost is wet. Like, that's funny. I've never
It is funny. but
encountered that. Like,
it's also, I love ghost stories where it's like, if you do this totally unnecessary and out of the way thing,
you park on
bad
the
things
bridge,
happen.
you get out of your car, you do the hokey pokey, you turn
Yes.
yourself around,
Get back in the car.
get back in the car,
There's a wet
jerk
spot.
one out,
Yeah.
cry, call your mom,
Yes.
then the ghost will appear.
Well, it's just, yeah, it's like, okay, well, that seems really easy to avoid the haunting.
Yeah, I could just drive across the bridge and I think it'd be fine. Except,
Yeah.
Mason, the second story aims to explain the moniker of Hell's Gate Bridge. As many locals have reported, there are times when driving on the bridge that if you were to look back, you wouldn't see the entrance which you crossed, but rather the gates of hell. The scenery around would transform into a literal hellscape for a moment before you were returned to the mortal plane. Some have even gone as far as to try to make a connection between this story and the one of the young couple, with some speculating that the young couple experienced this and that was what led them to drive off the bridge.
Oh, Susie?
Yeah,
Oh, I think we're in hell.
I know. Because I'm not Susie. It's me.
Little Caesar's demon.
Yeah.
How'd you get here in my girlfriend's body?
You never had a girlfriend. It was me the whole time.
Oh,
Hey, you're pretty good in the sack, though. I'll give you that. Anyway, drive me to get some Little Caesars.
is that just off this bridge?
Oh, yeah. Right off to the side here.
Oh,
Little Caesars
okay.
in hell.
Okay, Mr. Demon.
Little known fact, all Little Caesars actually are portals to hell. You ever been in their kitchen?
The inside of a Little Caesars is actually just hell, and the hell is entirely
That's
Little
exactly what
Caesars.
hell is it's just the waiting room for Little Caesars, but when there's like a lot of people, but they don't have any chairs for you to wait in, so you're just kind of standing around, that's hell.
The souls of hell are condemned to make pizza. That's why it's always hot and ready.
Oh, that's good.
Every lost soul, every damned soul, just makes pizza. 24 hours a day, 365, no breaks.
Pizza. Yeah. In 2007, the Oxford Paranormal Society conducted an investigation on the bridge.
Okay, fuck it. This is not Oxford. They just fucking were like, you know what's gonna make us sound smart is if we put the name Oxford in our...
the town is called Oxford, Alabama.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
very...
so-
so we are the Oxford... Alabama Paranormal Society. Oh, you guys are from Oxford?
You guys are from Oxford, England?
We're from Oxford, yes.
Like the Oxford?
A Oxford?
I don't like this. I don't trust you guys. But also, I called you to investigate a bridge, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. We're from the Oxford Paranormal Society, and got yourself a ghost. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a haunted bridge.
Pissing all
Hey,
over
what
the
do you
place.
reckon? What do you reckon on this? On a scale of on a scale of 1 to that time my sister's tire kept disappearing off her car.
It's close. It's around the time that somebody kept taking my left flip flop. And people thought it was just my dogs, but it
the
wasn't,
flip-flop
obviously.
ghost.
It's closer to that,
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah. You got yourself a ghost here. Yep.
Anyway,
We're gonna
that'll
need,
be $600.
Well,
Also, can you give us a ride back to the gas station?
thank
We
you
hitchhiked
for
here.
hiring the Oxford Paranormal Society.
Never forget those guys. Well, anyway, in 2007, the Oxford Paranormal Society, they conducted an investigation on the bridge, but failed to find anything conclusive. But that hasn't stopped the legends from persisting. If you choose to visit this bridge, which we don't recommend that you try to walk across it or even really visit it, because it's literally falling apart.
Yeah, it's not because it's a portal to hell. It's because
It's
just
because
you
it'll
could
send
fall
you to
into
hell
a river.
because you'll fall and die.
Maybe.
And if you're
it
a bad
doesn't look that
person-
high. It looks that's like the
Well,
scariest thing is.
the river's I think it'll carry you.
Oh, that's so scary. Is falling into a river and then having to get out of the river, but not just dying on impact. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's terrifying. That's fucking scarier than anything
Yeah.
we've ever covered.
If
on
I
this
fall into a
goddamn-
river, I hope I just die.
Immediately, right?
Yeah. I don't want to drown. I don't want to be
No.
like, and then just get washed down.
Especially in a car. I get so nervous when I drive over bridges because I'm just like,
Yeah,
fuck, if one.
yes.
It's just like, what if just a hole opens up? It just
Right.
what if a hole just
When-
falls? I'm in a car. I gotta get out of my car. I got all my stuff.
Ugh. Yeah.
That's why I always wear swimming trunks.
Wow. That's why.
Yes.
Okay, well, that makes sense now. Okay, because I just thought it was like a weird thing that you did.
No.
That it was like a sex
No,
thing,
it's a totally normal thing that I do in case a bridge collapses.
No, I get that now. Yeah, that's valid.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think, Mason? Spooky or kooky?
I'm gonna say...
Hell's Gate Bridge.
I'm gonna say kooky just because of... I mean, don't get me wrong, I want an entire documentary series on the Oxford Paranormal Society, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing most of them come out inconclusive with them being like, yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Let's move on to the next one.
Spooky shit.
Anything we can prove? Nah. All right. Well, let's pack it up then.
Just them shooting fucking revolvers at ghosts. Just pew, pew, pew. Ghost guns. That's what these are.
Blam, 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 blam. I think that ghost is dead.
There's fucking something
of
creaks
course.
upstairs. Da, 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 da.
Of course the ghost is dead, you moron. All ghosts are dead. Now, not like that. I mean that I
like
killed it.
dead. Like it's moved on to the other ghost. Like it's haunting ghosts now.
Here at
basically.
the Oxford, Alabama Paranormal Society, we have a priest bless every bullet that we fire from these guns.
Yes, Father, Son, Amen. All right, next one. Father,
right,
Son,
yeah.
Amen. All right. Father, Son, Amen. Okay.
Oh, could you just do it? I know, okay, listen, it's just a little 22, but honestly, it's my kids. He's going to go ghost hunting with us for the first time.
for
Could
sure.
you mind?
Father, Son, Amen. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, boys. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, thank you, Father,
Yeah,
for
I gotta
all
get
your
back to-
work.
So, I think it's kooky, but I think, in the pantheon of crybaby bridges, it's a little more fun because it's not just the same one where it's like a lady threw her baby. Now she comes and she's like, wah. Like
I
this one's
really
like,
thought you were going to have an entire rap planned out for that.
A lady
threw
threw
a baby.
but it's, I like the hellscape thing. Like imagine
do,
driving,
that is
imagine
how
driving
cool would it
across
be,
the bridge.
yes.
You like pick something up, like you're putting chapstick on or something, and you look, and you're just in hell, and you're like, oh no, did I take a wrong turn?
Right, and the bridge is just short enough, you've got enough
Yeah.
time to be like, what the fuck? And then you're just out of it.
Yeah,
and
and you're like,
no,
whoa.
just like putting the car in reverse and just being like,
Zoom.
drive it, and then just,
Yeah.
oh,
What?
huh.
Just like driving, and then it's like you're when you're in the normal part, it's just birds chirping, and you back up,
Yeah.
then it's like screams of the damned.
Like a bird flies through, like you can see the bird fly through, turn into like a
Just
pterodactyl.
skeleton. yeah, there you go. That's fun.
That is fun, yeah.
But it's a shit legends though.
Yes.
Okay, so stories of boogeymen and ghostly specters that will torment and kidnap children who are out too late or who disobey their parents are nothing new. Latinos have La Llorona, or as we talked about in our New Mexico episode, La Mala Hora. These ghouls serve as a tool for parents and as a reminder to us that maybe our parents weren't the best at parenting, the traumatization tactics being a key giveaway.
I just love how every generation of parents is just like not our parents, but our parents' parents
Yeah.
were just like, well, we didn't beat the shit out of you within an inch of your life, so we did great. And their parents were like, well, you didn't have to work at a mine when you were 8, so we did great.
Right,
and that
yeah.
it's slowly
Right,
every
yeah.
time is a step, and now we're just finally get to the point where yeah, I mean, we never hit you, but and then when we're parents, we're gonna be like, listen, we're not even twisting your head into making you feel terrible mental illnesses.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just like the idea of being like, nah, I mean, I was good to you. I mean, yeah, for like a couple years you wet the bed because you were so scared of this legend that I pushed on you and terrified you. But besides that,
I get it. I pushed you into anxiety by expecting you to be by expecting you to be a lawyer when you were 10.
look, all I'm saying is because of the fucking Llorona, I cannot walk to my car at night normally. I always have to be like, and just,
Well, we're sorry you feel that way. Yeah, it's the
That's-
the parent apology.
yeah.
I hope my mom listens to this. Not you, Mom. You guys didn't do this. I did. This is a generalization.
That's not what you were.
To know.
That's not what you were saying before the show, Mason.
Jose, that's untrue. Don't you slander me in front of my mother. She's a wonderful person.
Yeah, we love Mason's mom. Shout out to Mason's mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy
It's
Mother's Day.
It's
almost
Day.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for saying what I said.
Yeah. Well, in Abbeville, Alabama, there is a similar legend with the much more colorful name of Huggin Molly.
Yeah, that's great.
Huggin Molly is described as a 7-foot-tall woman dressed in a black cloak and wide around as a cotton bale.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Huggin Molly's a big gal.
Yeah. Huggin Molly is well known to the citizens of Abbeville, with most of the older generation having an encounter or knowing someone who did. Most stories of Huggin Molly begin with the same few lines. On a cold, dark, rainy night, so bitterly cold and damp, when even the streets won't burn and the striking of a match refuses to yield the tiniest flame. On nights like this, Huggin Molly comes out of her lair and roams the street of Abbeville to see who she can find.
Oh, hey, y'all.
Oh my God, it's Huggin Molly.
Bring it in here, sugar. Come on.
Hey, Huggin Molly, how y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I like to think she was just a really fun lady that was like a waitress or something, or like a bartender or something. Mm-hmm. And then, but the kids were just scared of her.
I just want to hug those children.
Well,
So
Molly,
bad.
you're as big as a cotton bale. They're fucking terrified. You're 7 feet tall. You're as big as a cotton bale.
Will you hug me?
I didn't.
Hug
No.
Oh,
God.
now you did.
Molly.
Now you did. Now you did. I smothered you.
Big old breasts.
Huggin Molly strikes again.
I like though that in the description of that the story, how they all begin, they just repeat themselves because it says on a cold, dark,
yes.
rainy night, so bitterly cold and damp. All right, we got it. It's cold.
I don't think you understand how cold and damp it is.
It's very cold and damp.
It's so cold and damp. It's freezing and wet.
Wow.
It's a freezing, wet, cold, damp night.
Wow. It was said that if Molly caught you, she would hug you tight and scream in your ear, quite possibly killing you in the process.
Okay, well, I don't like the screaming, but other than that, it seems like a very nice ghost.
Just seems like a
I mean,
ghost
listen,
I'd want to
if-
run into. I'm really touch deprived. I don't know.
I'm dying, hugged to death. Pretty high up there on
pretty
a way
good,
to go,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. One account given by Mac Gregory, who was born in 1909 and was the owner of Abbeville's Lawson Gregory grocery store, long name, for over 60 years, describes this encounter with the strange phantom. When he was a teenager, he had been out delivering groceries for the store on a Saturday and was now heading home at dusk. As he made his way home, darkness descended on the town, and since there were no streetlights at the time on the side streets, he found that he could barely see the path ahead. That was when he heard footsteps behind him and realized that someone was seemingly following him home. When he turned around, he could see the vague outline of a tall, hooded being about 10 yards behind him. The shape appeared to be keeping pace with him. The teenager, afraid to run because he believed the creature could easily close the distance between them, maintained a jog. He was now less than a city block away. When he got close enough to see his steps, he broke into a run and ripped the front door open, hiding behind the safety of his home. There appears to be no clear answer as to what exactly Huggin Molly is. Some swear that Molly is the ghost of a woman who lost her children and never recovered, and dealt with her pain by hugging children she could find on the streets. She now haunts those very same streets, continuing her habit in the afterlife. Others believe it's the ghost of a professor from the local college who wanders at night looking for their students out too late and encouraging them to go inside, wanting to protect them from any harm that may befall them.
That seems
Weird.
That one seems weird. I don't
Right.
know. Could you
Well,
imagine if Matt would if he caught us outside at 10 p.m. and was like,
All right, guys,
came
get
in
home. Come on,
like,
please.
wrapped us up in a hug and waddled us to our nearest home and was
I
like,
wouldn't
you
like
guys
him
stay
as
in
much.
here. I don't want you to
I
be
don't
in
think I
danger.
would like him as much.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
He would be weird Matt to us. I mean, weirder Matt, we would call him.
Oh, that's just old Huggin Matt.
Huggin'
'cause
Matt.
He's lanky. He's like
Yeah,
7
he's
foot
tall,
tall. I
yeah.
think he would just. Could you imagine him hiding behind a door frame and lunging out and scooping us both up in each arm and then just picking us up and
Oh,
walking us
man.
to a house?
I don't like that at all. I don't like to
You
picture
guys
that.
stay here. Please stop doing this. No, you must be safe.
I was just coming home from work. I was already on my way inside.
You're
I
safe.
saved you.
Hugging Matt away, and he just
Yeah, but the
runs off
theory
into the night.
the theory was that there's some people who believe that also Huggin Molly was like a person, because so many people encountered them, that it was somebody dressing up at night doing this. And so one of the theories was that it was one of the local college professors who was trying to keep his students from like getting into trouble. And so he would dress up as Huggin Molly to scare them to stay off the streets.
Okay.
And now that he's dead, he's continuing it.
Yeah. But now he's murdering people? Now he's doing the opposite.
No, he's not murdering them. He's still just scaring people to go inside, basically, is one of the theories.
Honestly, I'd run away from a stranger trying to hug me.
I'd run away from Matt trying to hug me. I just don't want that. I don't think we've gotten to that point.
His fucking lanky ass arms just scooping us up. I fucking can't stop it. Cracks me up. Just like one wide crab step. It's just...
Regardless of who or what Huggin Molly is, the people of Abbeville have not and will not forget about her anytime soon. Her infamy lives on in the form of Huggin Molly's, a restaurant in Abbeville named after the fabled specter. Well, Mason, what do you think? Spooky or kooky?
I think it's actually spooky, and what I like about it the most is it reminds me of, it almost reminds me of
Professor
a Japanese... No, but like Japanese ghost stories, how they're always like a way, like every Japanese ghost is like there's this, like the rules are there's like a way you can get out of it or whatever. You know what I mean? It just reminds me of one of those things where it's like the ghost that'll hug you unless you run away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas it always is like sympathetic ghost that's like it lost its kid and now it tries to save everybody, but it saves them by killing them.
Yeah. I also like that she's in black instead of white. Because in this way, she blends into the night more easily.
Well,
you know
actually,
what I mean?
But if she wore white, though, they'd be like, oh, that's just a Klansman. And move on.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh, that's just the mayor, they'd say.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
To our fans in Alabama, this is a joke.
We're sorry.
We know that it's a generalization. We hope all of you aren't terrible. If you are one of the terrible people, stop listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's spooky for me. Did you say spooky or kooky?
It's absolutely spooky. I just think it's a fun twist on
fun
the stories, too.
I want to go Huggin Molly's. It seems like a fun restaurant.
We should add that to our list. One of these days, we're going on an American road trip. If we ever get enough money, we're going on an American road trip, and we're going to do...
We'll do little vignettes. We'll do little vignette episodes within them, little small ones.
From our hotel room. And we'll do it on a motorcycle,
Or we can do it on location. Just horrible quality where we're talking, we're trying to read the story, and everybody's like, "Hey, you got because that's how conversation sounds in the background.
Can I do chicken? Can I do chicken and waffles? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just ordered chicken and waffles. Everyone got that, Mason.
Yeah, Mason, we heard it. Okay,
let's
along.
Move this one on. Yep.
Mason, you've heard of spontaneous combustion, but have you ever heard of spontaneous disappearance?
I haven't.
Yeah, we're not talking about someone getting in their car or being caught on some security camera and then disappearing into the woodwork. I'm talking about 1 minute you're there and the next, you're gone. Well, this is exactly what happened to Orion Williamson. The curious case of Orion Williamson begins in July of 1854 in Selma, Alabama. It was a beautiful Alabama day by all accounts. The sun was shining. There was not a cloud in sight.
Ugh, who wants to be in Alabama when there's no shade?
Oh, right? For sure.
I hate it. Dude, the perfect day is not a cloudless day. It's a day that has enough clouds that it's mostly in the shade, and every once in a while the sun peeks out.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah, yes.
I'm fucking sick of these. Let's just move on.
Orion and his wife and son relaxed on their front porch, watching over their horses grazing in the nearby field. Orion stood up and began walking toward the field to tell his workers to move the horses into some shade. As he walked, he came across a stick, picked it up, and continued swishing it across the knee-length grass as he went along.
Now, when you say
I don't
workers...
know. When did I say 1854?
1854?
Well, it's very hairy on whether or not they were there working by their own accord or, Armor Wren and his son were passing by in their buggy. They saw Orion and waved. Orion waved back, and then suddenly he disappeared right before everyone's eyes, seemingly into thin air. Wren stopped the buggy and rushed to the spot where Orion had just been standing seconds ago. Mrs. Williamson soon joined him with her child, and they began scouring the area for any sign of Orion, all to no avail. So this motherfucker was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then just...
Oh, hey, see you for Brit.
Just gone. Just gone.
I also love that it's Orion Williamson and
That's
Armor Wren.
Right.
What are these fucking
Star Wars.
names?
This is Star Wars, actually.
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
you're right, it is.
Let's see. Where was I? When the realization truly dawned on Mrs. Williamson of what had just happened, she fainted and was taken to a nearby hospital. She's just like searching, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh Lord, my husband!" As word spread of the strange event, nearly 300 people organized a search party to find the farmer. They searched until nightfall with no results. The next day, more people joined the search, and volunteers even went as far as to excavate part of the field, thinking that perhaps Orion had been swallowed up by the earth into an underground cavern or something of the like. But all they found was solid rock-filled ground. Eventually, everyone gave up, and Orion Williamson was never seen again. As time passed, news of the disappearance traveled, and investigators and journalists from all over came to the farmhouse. Ambrose Bierce was one of those journalists. Bierce would, of course, as we mentioned in our Roanoke episode, would go on to mysteriously disappear himself. Interestingly enough, in the spot where Orion had stood, the grass seemed to have dried up and died in the shape of a perfect circle. Mrs. Williamson and her child told folks that they would hear the voice of Orion coming from the spot on some occasions. They said it eventually got quieter and quieter until they finally could hear him no more. Investigators developed theories. German scientist Maximilian Hearn, author of the book Disappearance and Theory Thereof, speculated that Orion walked into a spot of universal ether. He believed these places lasted for a few seconds and could completely destroy all matter within them. The universal ether was first theorized by Aristotle during ancient Greek times. Another speculated that perhaps a magnetic field transported the man to another dimension. Regardless of whether or not the theory proposed could be possible to, the theories proposed could even be possible, to this day, two questions remain. Whatever happened to Orion Williamson, and Mason, do you think this is spooky or kooky? So I will point out, this one is a disputed case, because it's one of those things where it was like well known in the 1800s, but historical fact, who knows? You know what I mean? It's iffy on the details, as if this actually happened, as if there actually was an Orion Williamson. But it was written enough at that time that people consider it true. But again, there's not that concrete evidence of whether or not this man existed and even disappeared.
I mean,
I think it's spooky.
I think it's more spooky.
Fun. Because
it
it's one disappearances already frighten me. Like people just like, you know what I mean? Like people being like not telling their family, and then they're caught on a security camera and at a gas station 300 miles away, and then they just vanish. That shit frightens
I shouldn't even
me.
say this. This is gonna blow up my spot, but I do have. If I ever get if I'm ever told you have a week to live, I'm not gonna tell anybody, right? I'm just gonna do one of those things where I'm like, one day I'm just gonna sprint off into the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna see me walk into my apartment like everything's normal, and 30 seconds later I'm gonna sprint down the stairs and sprint into my car and just fucking drive off, and they just gonna see me drive out of town and just be like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna leave my phone somewhere weird with its location on, but I'm gonna take my watch. And I'm gonna just do, you know what I mean? I just want to stage this crazy disappearance.
Yeah.
I just think just for funsies, and then people, and then my
for
family
funsies,
members
and then your family's fucking suffering.
Why couldn't we get closure? What happened? I know, but I'm just oh, it's cool though.
You say.
Yeah, you'll be like, it was a fun mystery though.
I'll be like, money.
Yeah.
I think it's spooky because that already frightens me.
The people who are friends with people who disappear are always rich.
Well, I'm gonna make a fucking book about it. You think I'm not? You think I'm not gonna do the thing that what the fuck is his name? The guy who wrote Into the Wild did, John Crocker, and be like, Chris, my candleless life was tragic. Anyway, here's a book I wrote. Fucking buy it. Yeah, of course I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, fair enough. But also, the book has to end with I want it 300, 400, maybe even 500 pages.
Wow. Okay.
Of really crazy shit, and then at the end it's
100 pages.
The mystery still remains about what happened to Mason, my friend Mason Schrader. Could it have been this? Could it have been this? Or could it possibly have anything to do with the time he once told me on a podcast he was gonna do this exact same thing? The mystery remains, and then everyone's just like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Yeah.
But regardless, do you guys
Kind
think
of-
it's spooky or kooky?
Yeah, kind of like what you do on this podcast where I'm
Right.
like, oh, dude, that was really interesting. And then you're like, well, it's funny you say that because it's all fake.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, this book was co-authored by Mason Schrader. He's alive, guys.
Yes.
He's just been hiding in my place.
Anyway, yes.
no,
No,
I
I
think
think
it's
it was kind of spooky
yeah.
too because I like the idea of that he just like
Right,
walked
well,
into
that's
a
what I'm
thing
saying,
and
is,
then
like,
the universe opened up a
just-
teleportation pussy and then he was just like and gone and it's just like
Well, that's what I'm
oh.
saying. Is like it's fun to think like those normal disappearances already scare me, but the idea of like just vanishing like into thin air, like I'm like, whoa.
It was also the 1850s, so I assume a giant bird just picked him up and ate him.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I
But-
mean? They
but
just
I-
like looked away, like the Ren kid looked away one moment and then looked back and it was like, and just like
Yeah.
swooped him and then he was like,
What the fuck? Yeah.
I didn't have the heart to tell Mrs. Williamson a giant bird ate your husband.
I do like the theories though of like like it being like he got transported to another dimension. Like I like him just being like, "Hey neighbor," and then the next he's like in some hell world and he's like, "Oh god."
Yeah, there's like it's like a Cthulhu, like
Yeah.
you know, like everything's like a tentacle monster, and he's in the middle of like hi neighbor, and it just like waves a tentacle at him
Yeah.
and moves on its day, and then
He's
he's
just like,
still
Well, this ain't
He's-
Selma, Alabama.
he's still living
This
like
ain't
a
home.
normal,
Yeah,
like a
he just
normal life.
He becomes a farmer in this like like this H.P. Lovecraft world.
Hey, Glork Blork. Oh, hey, don't forget you're coming over for dinner tomorrow night. Oh, sweetie, I love you. Oh, you're the light of my life.
He's got a Cthulhu family now. He's got like a Cthulhu monster family. They just look exactly like his normal one, but like they've got overalls. Oh man, that's great. We need to make this movie, the Orion
This is-
Williamson story.
This is Orion Glork Black Jr. No.
But yeah, I think it's very spooky. Yeah.
And then I'm also imagining at one point he gets teleported back and he's immediately like, no, my family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
His like wife is there and she's like, Orion, I'm so happy to see you. And he's like,
I built a life.
you built a life with us too. You'll never love me like Glarblickel did.
Oh man. Well, yeah, so it's spooky then.
Yeah, spooky.
Well,
Actually, it's kind of cute now that I think about it.
Well,
like
now
that.
it's actually very heartfelt. Yeah. Well, we now head west, Mason, to the Magnolia State, Mississippi.
Okay.
Beware when driving on Nash Road in Columbus, Mississippi, for there be a ghoul that haunts that stretch of road. A ghoul with 3 legs. But it's a lady ghoul, so it's not that kind of third leg. According to legends, drivers should stop on the road, turn off their headlights, and honk the horn 3 times. You know,
sure,
standard
classic
ghost
ghost
summoning
summoning,
procedure.
yeah.
Yeah. After this, the 3-legged lady will knock on the roof and race the driver to the end of the road, trying to run him off the road the entire time, hitting the car as she goes along.
What is she? Did she weigh as much as a car? Because I just.
Yeah, it's that extra leg. You know how, like, if you have 2 legs, you're a normal weighing human. If you have 3 legs, you now weigh the same as a car.
I hate that you've made me picture this woman with she's wearing a dress and Timberland boots. She has 3 legs and they are just shredded.
Yeah, because she's
They
running all the
are
time.
the strongest legs that you have ever seen in your entire life, and she's
she
like
could
green
fucking-
for some reason.
She's
you
she's
know?
doing that thing that buff guys do where they put, like, the thing on their bicep and then they squish it like the egg.
Yes,
But she's doing that with her fucking, like, the back of her knee.
and it's like a watermelon.
And it's a watermelon.
And she's just like, you see her and she's like constantly doing like squats. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, now I'm just picturing The Rock playing her. The Rock, but he's got a 3rd leg and he's just
Yeah,
in
but
a
he's
wing.
like, but I imagine
But
the
he's
upper body's
green.
like tiny. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's
so-
just the legs are huge, but like the upper body's just like a normal shaped person.
The Rock's legs, 3 of The Rock's legs, on Catherine
Even
O'Hara.
bigger though. You know what I mean? Catherine O'Hara. Yes, Catherine O'Hara is definitely the top part, but I'm just trying to imagine who's got the beefy. I mean, the thickest.
Some soccer player, right? Like it's
The
got to be like or a
beefiest, like a-
rugby player.
like a bodybuilder, yeah, or a rugby
Yeah.
player, and she's just like, "Hello," and it's just like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Where
She's
is
like,
my baby?
Do you want to race now? Like, I guess.
Sure.
And then she's just like fucking blam, blam, like slamming up against the car, and you're like, oh my god.
Your car's like, oh shit. Well, anyway, yeah, so it's bad enough being chased. Now imagine being chased by a ghostly figure with a rotting third limb seemingly sewed on her body.
Oh, well, that kind of blows my theory.
There are many possible explanations as to just how this lady ended up with 3 limbs. The first paints the whole ordeal as a wicked love story. You see, the lady of Nash Road had fallen in love with a Union soldier. The only problem? She was married. When her husband found out about the affair, he found the soldier and killed him. He dragged his body to a nearby bridge to dump it. As he was doing it, one of the legs came off. You know how like when you kill someone, their bodies just becomes like Lego parts, and they just
He's
like
just
plop.
like holding it by the ankle, like like dropping it, like
Oh
wiping it
fuck!
off.
Ew!
Gross.
The woman found it, and in her despair, sewed it on her body, in an effort to keep a part of her lover with her. She then went mad, as you do when you sew a dismembered limb onto your body.
She didn't go mad until after sewing the dismembered leg onto her body.
She was
like
completely sane the entire time.
as soon as she like ties that like last knot, she's just like, you know what I mean? She's just like,
she does the fucking Joker laugh. Yeah. And then she killed the farmer before killing herself. The other story portrays a lady as a mother whose daughter was kidnapped by local Satanists. The police searched for her, but with no avail. Eventually, she was found in pieces. Well, actually, all that was found was her leg. And in her grief and shock, the mother stole her daughter's dismembered limb and sewed it on herself. She now haunts the stretch of road, attacking those who summon her as retaliation for what the Satanists did to her daughter, and all the while still searching for the rest of her. So, Mason, what do you think? Spooky or kooky? The third explanation is she just has a massive dick and everybody thinks it's a leg.
I just can't get over like, what shoes are you wearing? They're size 11 Timberlands.
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm gonna give it points for not being a normal ghost story.
I think it's better than
like
donkey face road or whatever, where it was the lady but she had a donkey face. Or do you remember that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's spooky. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I kind of was thinking it was like a fun third leg, like a mutant, but then she's just like, I sewed a dead leg on me. Where do you think it is?
Well, that's the question. I saw some illustrations where it was like literally like leg, kind of like down the middle, like in the middle. Like she sewed it to her pussy.
I was gonna say.
Or another one, the way
like
I imagined it was like
hip,
off her
off
hip.
your thigh.
Yeah, so just a leg, like.
But then it's like that seems like
Or in the middle of her chest.
I would sew it just above my ass crack like a tail. So, but then the leg
then
bent.
You know what I mean? Back and do like a weird. little octopus
that's true.
walk.
Yeah, you could like fall back on it and then like.
I think. Oh, that's scary. Okay, actually, this is spooky because
that or just like
the combinations are scary regardless.
That or if it worked, I would like it on my chest. So then I could, if I'm in a fight, I could like kick. I could like uppercut kick somebody with my chest leg.
Oh, you'd be great at soccer. Because it's not hands, technically. It's not a handball.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a leg.
Well, you know, if I had to play soccer, you know what I'd do? Cut off my feet, cut off my hands, switch them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which one they allow me to use. I still get an advantage. I have to use my hand feet. I can grab the ball with my hand thumbs. I have to use my upper things. I can swing them like clubs. Either way, I win.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I'm writing a self-help book about how to be good at things. That's just a little excerpt of if I were good at that. It's called If I Were Good At, and then every chapter is like, if I were good at soccer, here's how I'd do it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, all right.
You should check it out. It's called If I Were Good At by Mason Schrader.
So spooky then.
If I were good at podcasting, I'd stop talking about this. It's spooky. Let's move on.
Yeah. Mason, we are in the middle of a fucking pandemic, and it has been tough to say the least, right?
Fake news.
Oh, boy.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's tough.
It really soured me on pandemics and epidemics in general, but at least it wasn't Mercritis. the horny and angry pandemic that struck a town in Mississippi and was subsequently covered up by the government. This is a timely legend.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I am excited for this one. The horny and angry pandemic.
Yeah. This is an explanation of what the disease is.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and say Mercritis already right now. Good name for a goat.
Yeah, there you go. Mercritis.
It's horny and angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mercritis condition typically leads its victim down a road of trouble, into a life of alienation interspread with moments of great violence. Mercritis affects less than 1 in 10 million of the general population. It strikes males of any age and is only contracted, as far as we know, from the oral consumption of mass amounts of certain types of paint. This is not a joke legend either. Like,
real.
people genuinely believe this legend. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't made as a joke legend.
Like, already, right now, how real is Mercritis?
Oh, not very. Not at all.
Oh, damn it. I
Almost
thought this was like, I
certainly not
already
real.
thought I was
No.
like, what the fuck? This is a real thing.
This is not real.
Damn
One
it.
of the reasons Mercritis is rare is that paint consumption leads to massive organ failure, and many who may have a grim chance of developing the rare disease die before MC manifests. The prevailing theory holds that the victim's skin, fed by secretions resident in the liver and kidneys, releases a mild odor that has an effect on women. Haruki Ryu, formerly of the Yokohama Crier,
Crier, nice.
Crier.
You got a little too into the
I
Japanese
got too
there,
into the
didn't
Japanese
you?
there, yeah. And the only author of a book on the subject, loosely translated, Mercritis I Run, 1968, Shiu Nai Press Limited, said
What a
in a
beautiful
phone
language.
interview. Yeah, right?
You know, you're writing a whole thing about a fake disease, and you're like, Mercritis, I run.
Yeah. Said in a phone interview, the scent seems to affect all women on a hormonal level that appears to alter them emotionally. Irritability and hostility tend to inhabit the milder range of reactivity. That pretty women are so hyperactivated by victims of MC has brought us to speculate on a possible relationship between hormonal activity and beauty. Hyperactivated reactions are called MAR, Mercritis Activated Rage.
So if I were to eat a bunch of a certain type of paint,
Right.
I would start emitting a smell.
Yes.
A hormone or a smell? Like a physical smell, or just like
Yeah.
something that like you pick up on?
I don't know. It's very, yeah.
Sure, fine. And the more attractive a woman is, the more she's going to be driven crazy
Yes.
by that smell?
Yes.
Okay, I guess.
Why a woman with no history or pattern of violence would react so strongly to a man with MC has not been adequately studied. In a way, we are all guessing, but in defense of my book, I operate from an educated guess. End quote. It is thought to have originated in Europe, where a local man was chased by a group of women through a seaside village. In a
He was
desperate
probably
attempt,
just a rapist.
Yeah. In a desperate attempt to evade them, he jumped into the freezing waters. The women followed, and according to reports, all of them drowned. By the 1950s, this disease had made its way to a small town in Mississippi where it almost destroyed the population. The government couldn't find a cure or explanation for the disease, so they sought to cover the whole thing up. But strangely, it seems that the disease either became rare or vanished, as no cases are reported to this day, or perhaps the government is still covering it all up. Mason, what do you think of Mercritis? Spooky or kooky?
Okay, so does it make like what? Does it make people horny? Is that
Well,
a
it
thing?
seems like it makes women
It just seems
so
like it-
horny that they're angry. You know
It
what I
just
mean?
seems like it puts them into hysterics. No, I don't know what that means. I don't know if I've ever known a single person that's been like,
Well, you haven't lived,
"Ah!" You know what I guess
you
the
haven't
incels?
lived like me. Yeah,
Oh
incels.
no.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant.
Okay.
No, I
guess
think
I get what
it's
you-
more
yeah.
it's more of a hysterical fit. Horny was more my interpretation, but it is more of a hysterical fit where like a man walks by who has this, and then women are like angry. We have to kill. You know?
This seems like the type of thing that like doctors in the 1800s made up because like women didn't like being treated like second class.
Like second class citizens. Yeah. So well,
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
the mayor in town is just like, I don't understand why all these women hate me. All I do is grab their ass constantly and tell them that they're
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, Interesting.
Could be Mercritis.
Have you been doing anything strange lately?
Well, I've been eating all this lead paint.
Ah, yes. See what you've
Also,
done.
I like that that's how it's activated. Like,
Yeah,
people were just
yes.
eating.
See, I can explain it here on this chart. Is what happens is when you eat the stank, scientifically speaking, you get a stanky asshole.
Oh.
Now, this stanky asshole actually emits a smell that it drives women who, are closer to animals than us men insane.
Right.
Like when you spray like deer piss on something and it attracts deer? It's just like that.
Yeah, that makes sense, Doctor. Thank
And
you.
you can trust me, I went to medical school at Oxford.
Oxford, Alabama?
What? Certainly, it was.
Anyway,
okay, so I have
got
a
this
cousin.
open wound in my head. How do I fix this?
My cousin has an ox that we have named Oxford. He taught me everything I knew about medical
All
knowledge.
right. Now let this bird peck at your cut.
Yes. No, I'm gonna say I don't know. It's kooky. It's
I
funny.
think it's kooky. It's funny, but I also think this was, like you said, it was definitely something. It's all hooey, by the way. This is not a real thing.
Yeah.
But I think it was definitely made by people. That this legend was made by people who were like that. Who were like, "Why are women always mad at me?" It's like, because you're an asshole. But
no, it's definitely because of all that paint I'm eating. He's like, scooping paint into his mouth.
no, yeah, I think it's kooky, and I think whoever made up this legend is a fucking incel.
Yeah, right.
Some
I think
proud
so too.
boy-esque motherfucker who's like, "No, the reason girls don't like me is because I'm suffering from Mercritis." Okay, so I'm very giddy about this next one because it has always been a favorite of mine. It actually inspired a whole short film that I wrote called Stranger at the Crossroads, which you can all check out on my channel. This is the legend of Robert Johnson and his deal with the devil. I went to the crossroads and fell on my knees. Asked the Lord above me, have mercy now, save poor Bob, if you please.
No.
Fuck off, Bob.
You fucking suck, Bob.
Aww. It was 1930 in Robinsonville, Mississippi, and a 19-year-old Robert Johnson, an aspiring blues singer, was at a juke joint where Delta blues legends Son House and Willie Brown were playing to a packed house. At some point, Robert dared to pick up one of the musicians' guitars and began playing for the crowd, but they weren't having it. They went to Son House and told him to stop the young man from playing. He was thrown out by the owners, and that would be the last time anyone heard of Johnson for a whole year.
Is that uncommon in the 1930s, though?
What?
I guess if you live in a small town in Mississippi, it's weird to just disappear for a year, though.
Yeah.
Feels like it'd be really easy. I'd just be like, "Oh, I was one town over,"
and they're like, "Oh,
okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
And that would be the last time anyone heard of Johnson for a whole year. One night, while House and Brown were playing another gig in Banks, Mississippi, Robert Johnson walked in with a guitar case on his back. "Boy, now where are you going with that thing?" House asked Johnson. To noise somebody to death again? But something had changed. Johnson took out his instrument, a regular 6-string guitar fitted with an extra 7th string, something that neither Brown or House had seen before. Johnson had seemingly acquired an ungodly degree of skill and unusual technique, strumming the chords in a series of rapid-fire strokes that made it seem like a piano with 3 hands playing it. How was it possible that this kid who had been nothing but a lousy, noisy wannabe a year ago was now commanding the attention of the entire joint? It's simple. Robert Johnson had gone down to the crossroads and made a deal with old Mephistopheles himself. The following comes from a vision that bluesman Henry Goodman had. So Robert Johnson, real musician, right? This is an urban legend about him. And this next part comes from a fellow blues singer, Henry Goodman, who was like, I had a vision of what had gone down that night.
And too, this is true because it's impossible that Robert Johnson, was just really nervous at his first gig and made a lot of mistakes, and then spent an entire year traveling around Mississippi practicing, and then came back and was good.
Right, yeah.
That's impossible. So
No, yeah, that is
this
impossible.
one has
right?
to
It has to be
the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, his family is like, they hate this because I think his grandson's just like, he just went and practiced. Like, why does everybody have to be like, he made a deal with the devil?
Well, again, it's like, I bet he
It's
wasn't
still
even
fun,
that.
though.
I bet he wasn't even like. I bet he was probably good when he did that first gig. It's just that thing where you get like, he probably got really nervous and made a bunch of mistakes, and then he got better and practiced, and then he was really good, a really good musician.
Robert Johnson had been playing in Yazoo City and was trying to get up to Helena. His ride had left him next to the levee. He walked up the road with his guitar on his shoulder, thinking about what Son House had told him when he was booed off stage. "Put that guitar down, boy. You're driving people nuts." Robert Johnson needed two things right now: a woman and a whiskey. Don't we all? God, isn't that just what we all need? Well, not all of us, but me. I don't even like whiskey. Give me a rum
Recovering
instead.
alcoholics and
they
gay
need
men.
They
You
need
guys.
Well,
No.
not the gay men. They're fine.
Well, or the recovering alcoholics.
Nah,
Why are you
they-
so anti-recovering from addiction, Jose?
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. Get back on it. As he walked on, he noticed a sickly, mad, howling dog in the ditch next to the road. It howled and moaned, sending chills up Johnson's spine. He was coming up on some crossroads just south of Rosedale. Despair and depression crept into Johnson's mind when from the darkness a voice spoke, belonging to a man sitting against a tree. So I'll do the voice of El Diablo if you want to do the voice of Johnson.
Yes, that sounds good.
"You're late, Robert Johnson." Johnson dropped to his knees, immediately aware of whose presence he was in.
Maybe not?
The man stands straight and walks over to the middle of the crossroads. He's tall, barrel-chested, and black as the night. He says, "Stand up, Robert Johnson. You want to throw that guitar over there in that ditch with that hairless dog and go back up to Robinsonville and play the hop with Willie Brown and Son, because you just another guitar player like all the rest. Or you want to play that guitar like nobody ever played it before. Make a sound nobody ever heard before. You want to be the king of the Delta Blues and have all the whiskey and women you want?"
That's a lot of whiskey and women, devil man.
"I know you, Robert Johnson," says the man. The dog continues to howl and moan. The sound penetrates Johnson's body and makes him shudder. Robert Johnson says,
That dog's gone mad.
The man laughs. "The hound belonged to me. He ain't mad, he's got the blues. I got his soul in my hand." The dog lets out a... Aw, let it go.
Aw, you've got a dog, though?
Aw, that's cute.
Well,
What's
I
his
like
name?
to think that
Can I
every
pet your
dog's
dog?
soul is in the hands of the owner.
I got Zuko's soul right here. I tried
That's
to
your
get...
testicles. You just showed me your testicles. I really wish you hadn't.
Haha, I got him. The dog lets out a low, long, soulful moan, a howling like never heard before. Rhythmic, syncopated grunts, yelps, and barks, seizing Robert Johnson like a grand mal, and causing the strings on his guitar to vibrate, hum, and sing with a sound dark and blue. Beautiful, soulful chords and notes possessing Robert Johnson, taking him over, spinning him round, losing him inside of his own self, wasting him, lifting him up into the sky. Robert Johnson looks over in the ditch and sees the eyes of the dog reflecting the bright moonlight, or more likely, so it seems to Robert Johnson, glowing on their own. A deep violet penetrating glow, and Robert Johnson knows and feels that he is staring into the eyes of a hellhound, as his body shudders from head to toe. The man
How does the
says,
devil get the soul of a dog?
The dog makes a deal with the devil to be the best boy ever?
Do you think it was like, I would kill for some kibble right
and the
now?
devil's
And
like,
he was just like,
Hello
hello.
there.
Hello, Fido.
I am El Diablo.
Bark?
Yeah. So you do want to sign here, and then sign here, put your paw here, initial here.
Every dog that learns how to shake is capable of making a deal with the devil.
As soon as they learn how to shake, the devil's like, come on, baby.
Yes!
The man,
They have no idea. They have no idea what they're signing up for. It's great.
the man says, the dog ain't for sale, Robert Johnson, but the sound can be yours. That's the sound of the Delta Blues.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I gotta have that sound, devil man. That sound is mine. Where do I sign?
The man says, you ain't got a pencil, Robert Johnson. Your word is good enough. All you gotta do is keep walking north, but you better be prepared. There are consequences.
Perchance, what are they, devil man?
You know where you are, Robert Johnson? You're standing in the middle of the crossroads. At midnight, that full moon is right over your head. Take one more step, you'll be in Rosedale. You take this road to the east, you'll get back over to Highway 61 in Cleveland. I like how the devil's just giving him directions. The devil's just so aware of the area around him. He's like,
actually, if you
"You're gonna
jump on
wanna go
Highway
down."
65 for about 55 minutes, you're actually going to end up down in Riversdale, which is, it's pretty fun. But if you go past Riversdale, down past Eastwood, you're going to end up in a beautiful little East Village kind of thing. It's got an amazing restaurant there. You're going to want to eat there. It's called Eggs Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much. What was your name
problem.
again?
I am Devil. I'm the Devil.
Oh,
Devil.
big fan. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks. Okay.
Or you can turn around and go back to Beulah, or just go to the west and set up on the levee and look at the river. But if you take one more step in the direction you're headed, you're going to be in Rosedale at midnight under this full October moon.
Yeah, you've already said that.
Shut up. And you're going to have the blues like never known to this world. My left hand will forever be wrapped around your soul, and your music will possess all who hear it. That's what's going to happen. That's what you better be prepared for. Your soul will belong to me. This is not just any crossroads. I put this X here for a reason, and I've been waiting on you.
I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't really explain what the consequences of me making this deal are. You kind of just described where everything was.
You gotta let me crash on your couch. That's it. That's the only consequence.
I don't have a house.
Fuck, what am I doing?
Why, I'm walking along the road at night. Why did you think I would have a house?
I thought you were just maybe walking home. I don't know.
It seems like you didn't know a lot about me.
Is your name even Robert Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay, so I knew that. I got that
no,
right.
you got some of the stuff right. It just seems like you didn't really plan this out very well.
Look, I'm in town. I'm visiting my sister, but I don't want to stay at her place because it's it's been a while since I've seen her, so I thought maybe I'd find you and make a deal. I'd crash on your couch. You get to be a blues musician. I get a couch to sleep on. This is not going the way I thought it would be.
I'm sorry. I'm just a little confused still. What happens if I go east again?
So basically, you want to go down I-80, and then you're going to take a right at Grand Junction. From there, you'll be in Colorado Springs. You don't want to be in Colorado Springs, though. It's a shit town. You kind of want to go straight to Denver. It's kind of fun. They legalize marijuana. There's a great smoke joint. It's called The Joint.
That's clever.
You smoke indoors. They also have, they have beer and stuff.
Okay, and if I go west?
Then your soul
you don't get... Oh, if I go west, you get my soul. What happens if I go north?
Oh, you don't want to go north. You're in fucking Canada. What are you going to do in Canada? You fucking kidding me?
And
Get the fuck
south
out of here.
again? I just don't understand why you're giving me so many directions on everything.
You go south, you go left, you go right, you go up, you go down, X, X, Y, R2, L1. What are you confused about?
Why is it that... Why did you give me all that information if you get my soul if I just go that direction? It kind of seemed like you did a whole thing for no real reason.
Never mind. You don't, never mind. I don't want it. You can have it. I don't want it.
Okay. I'll just
Fuck
practice.
you, Robert Johnson.
Okay.
Stupid bitch. Robert Johnson rolls his head around, his eyes upward in their sockets to stare at the blinding light of the moon. I'm blinded by the lights. You know that song? The Weeknd? Which has now completely filled the tie pitch black, and Delta night piercing his right eye like a bolt of lightning as the midnight hour hits. He looks the big man squarely in the eyes and says,
"Oh, step back, devil man. I'm going to Rosedale. I am the blues man."
The man moves to one side and says, "Go on, Robert Johnson. You're the king of the Delta blues. Go on home to Rosedale, and when you get up in town, you get you a plate of hot tamales, because you're going to be needing something on your stomach where you're headed."
Okay, wait, hold on, because I don't understand. First off, a plate of the cinnamon candy doesn't really sound that appealing to me right now. But also,
I think he meant actual hot tamales.
If I'm just the king of Delta blues, does that mean I'm going to be like, people are going to like me outside of the Mississippi Delta? Well, because this doesn't seem
I'm
like
leaving.
such a good
You have a good day. You made the deal.
I
got your soul.
I
Bye.
just don't... Oh, Robert Johnson, you've done it again.
It is believed that this encounter led to Johnson's short-lived success. He would go on to make 29 songs before dying at the young age of 27 under mysterious circumstances, making him a member of the 27 Club.
Oh man, I only wrote like 30 songs. Oh.
When the same soul-selling story was told of Robert Johnson, he did little to dispel the rumor. In fact, he may have cultivated the devilish connection. Of the 29 songs Johnson recorded before his untimely death at only 27 years old, there were Crossroad Blues, Hellhound on My Trail, Me and the Devil Blues, and Up Jumped the Devil, which Crossroad Blues famously is the one that includes the line where he says, I went to the crossroads and fell up on my knee.
Yeah, I met the devil. He was fine. He seemed like kind of a sore guy. I don't know. Oh, man.
So what do you...
I've had a crazy life. What am I, 26? Oh.
You got one more year, Robert Johnson.
Oh, no.
So what do you
I
think?
didn't even get to do that many whiskey and women.
Oh, he got plenty of them. He got plenty while he was alive.
Okay, so I don't know if this is true, but there's an amazing songwriter called Nick Cave, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. He's amazing, and he's got a song called Up Jump the Devil, too. I don't know if it's a cover of this one, but it's definitely well worth checking out, because Up Jump the Devil is a phenomenal Nick Cave song.
I actually really do like Robert Johnson, and I liked him before I heard of the legend, but the legend does just make it better because it's got a little bit of like spookiness to it. He's a great blues player. I mean, there's an argument to be made that Robert Johnson is one of those fundamental artists where had he not come along, rock and roll would have looked different. You know, him and the other early blues singers who sort of pioneered that.
Yeah.
But I do think it's for me. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's spooky?
It's. I mean, I love the story.
I think it's spooky, and it's one
amazing.
of the. It's fun because it's one of the like fucking legends that we've covered where it's actually been developed a lot. So you know what I mean? It could be plausible. You could see it as plausible. I think.
Yes.
You know, I do believe in crossroads deals and the devil making deals with people. Who knows if Robert Johnson did that or if he was just trained and practiced and got better. But I like it, and I like that. While because it started almost immediately with his career, people were like, "You made a deal with the devil,"
right?
And I think that was also because a lot of people that were living in this area, a lot of black folk, they were very religious, and the blues were seen as it was like the same thing with rock and roll. The blues were loose, and they made women dance, and they made people's inhibitions come down or whatever. Which is funny because now you listen to the blues and you're like, "Oh, I'm sad."
I do. I love me. That's one of my favorite things. I don't listen to a lot of blues like on like Spotify or anything. But every time I go to a record store, I'll always pick up a blues record.
I need
to
get me a Robert Johnson vinyl. Yeah, I think it's spooky, and I like that though. When it got around to him, I like that it came around to him, and he was just like, "I'm gonna keep writing songs about the devil." I
just think that's cool. Yeah, I love songs about the devil.
I think it's spooky. It's spooky, and I love it.
Crept.
I love it, and I love the idea of crossroad deals. I love crossroad demons and in media and stuff. Fun stuff. Well, with that, it's time to wrap the show up, Mason. If you like the show, make sure to leave a 5-star review, which you can do in-app on Apple Podcasts, Audible, or Podchaser. We'd really appreciate it if you leave us a review. Plus, it really helps the show, and we'll read your review on the show. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/captainslogcast and donate $1. Anything helps keep the lights on. Another thing you could do to help the show and yourself is go over to Teepublic and shop our merch. Yeah, we have merch. You can get anything from t-shirts to mugs with our logo on it. For our video audience, I've been drinking out of our Captain's Log mug this entire time. And it's great. I love it.
I hope you enjoy all the faces I make when I try to not make noises while Jose's talking.
Yeah.
I always forget we have video listeners.
Teepublic will be having a sale every week this month, so now is the time to buy. Remember, if you donate/support to our sponsors, it all goes toward improving the show, getting better recording equipment, and funding our tour, Spooky Tour of America, Captain's Log Terror Tour.
I'm not sold on that.
Well, we'll see.
We'll workshop
a quick shout out to a friend and devoted listener of the show, Cameron McKay. Just turned 21 a couple days ago. Congrats. Thanks for supporting us.
Birthday, Cameron.
Happy birthday, Cameron. We love you. Mason, where can the fine listeners find you?
You can find me at your local crossroads offering deals for whatever it is you're trying to do.
And Twitter. At
no,
Mason
I don't
Schrader.
do the deals there, though. You can also find me on Redbubble as Tiny Messiah.
Yes.
That's capital Tiny. Messiah, capital Messiah.
Yes.
I spell checked it when I wrote it. It's got a picture of me in a little sweater in front of a spider.
Wow. Yeah, go check that out.
I've just got the one art piece up right now, but you can get it on a shirt or just as a print. That's what I made them for, was for prints. But whatever you want, I ordered one, turned out great, pretty happy with the quality. So you can check that out, find some of my artwork.
Hell yeah.
I will probably start putting, well, never mind. I'm not going to commit to that. Moving on.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at j.valle_junior, and the show on Twitter and Instagram at Captain's Log Pod. We recommend various different materials on there and post show updates and tweet some occasionally funny things, so go check it out. You can also subscribe on YouTube, where you can find me as Jose Valle Jr., Animal Productions, and of course the show's official YouTube channel, Captain's Log, which is almost completely updated. We're getting closer to having all the video episodes up there. If you can't get enough of me, you can also listen to my other podcast with friend of the log, Max Benyon, called Max and Jose Have Something to Say. Mason was on there for an episode. Good episode. Go check it out.
Episode. I didn't fit in well.
Yes, you did.
I don't know why I said that.
Make sure to tell your friends and family about the show if you enjoy it, and if you'd like to share your favorite urban legends that didn't make the cut, or perhaps if you had encounters with any of the legends we discussed, please do so by writing in to captainslogcast@gmail.com. You can also suggest episode topics, guests you'd like to have back, etc. Make sure to subscribe and download on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play, and any other podcast directory. Thank you to Carlos Rivera for composing the show's theme. And with that, everybody, we have reached the end of our show. We will see you soon for another special episode. I've been your Captain Jose Valle Jr., joined by
First Officer Mason the Poet Warrior Schrader.
Wow. And this has been Captain's Log. End of transmission.
Pew. Boop.